We knew it was on the way eventually. We knew the Baltimore Ravens could not run from it forever. Even though it seemed like for years now, they had been coasting and we hadn't really heard much of anything about it. But this year, when that schedule dropped and we saw the game against the Tennessee Titans and said it was going to be over the pond in London, we were like, oh, okay. It brings up a very traumatic experience for all of us. Because we remember back then, 2017, where the last time the Ravens played over there, they got whooped. And like whooped that's putting it in nice terms. The score was 44-7. 44-7. The Jacksonville Jaguars beat up on the Baltimore Ravens big time. The game was not even close. The game was never close. I guess the only time the game was close was when the clock before it started. That was the only time it was close because it was. Let's just read some of the numbers from that game. Blake Bortles, number 5, versus Joe Flacco, number 5. But anyway, Blake Bortles, he went 20 for 31, 244 yards. So that ain't bad. That's solid. Ain't nothing crazy. It's cool. But 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. That makes that a lot better. Corey Grant, their running back, he had 6 carries for 75 yards. He averaged 12.5 yards a carry. Leonard Fournette, playoff Lenny, he had 17 carries for 59 yards and a touchdown. So he ain't really go off like that, but I mean, he got a lot of carries. Mercedes Lewis, the tight end, he had 4 catches for 3 touchdowns. 4 catches for 3 touchdowns, 62 yards. And then the other touchdown went to Allen Hurns. So that was the Jaguars' numbers. Let's look at the Ravens' numbers. Joe Flacco went 8 for 18 for 28 yards. What were the Jaguars doing? Oof. And then they end up pulling him in, and Ryan Mallett came in and he threw a touchdown. But anyway, Flacco went 8 for 18 for 28 yards and 2 interceptions. We had Alex Collins back then. He had 9 carries for 82 yards, averaged 9.1 yards a carry. So he was doing his thing. But Terrence West, wow. Terrence West, he had 6 carries for 26 yards. He had averaged 4.3 yards a carry. Buck Allen, wow, we remember him. He had 8 carries for 15 yards. He averaged 1.9 yards a carry. So that was the running game. Running game overall got 25 carries, 134 yards, averaged 5.4 yards a carry. So not bad, but it was one of them too little, too late type of things. Now, receptions. Nick Boyle led the way in receiving yards. Let me read that back because I know it don't even sound right. Nick Boyle led the Ravens in receiving yards that game. Nick Boyle with a whopping 14 yards. 2 catches for 14 yards. That led Ravens receivers that game. And next up to him was Buck Allen with 13 yards. Get this, on 5 catches. He caught the ball 5 times for 13 yards. Boy, Jaguars was on something else that game, man. Boy. Ben Watson. See, these are top 3 receiving leaders. Was Nick Boyle, Buck Allen, and Ben Watson. So 2 tight ends and a running back. And with our leading receiving yards, people had 14 yards, 13 yards, and 12 yards. That was our leading receivers that game. This is crazy, man. Jerry Maclin, shout out to him. He had 1 catch for 8 yards. Chris Matthews had 1 catch for 8 yards. Mike Wallace had 1 catch for 6 yards. Michael Campanero, he had 1 catch for 3 yards. Oh, Brashad Perryman was there too. He got a target. But, man, this is rough, man. Terrence West, he had a fumble. This is just all kinds of rough, man. It was rough. Let me see how many sacks the Jaguars got. And the reason that I'm bringing all this up, Jalen Ramsey got a pick and A.J. Bouye got a pick. So that is a nice little secondary right there. The reason I bring all this up, there were only 2 sacks? Wow. I bring this up because my guy Les, he sent me an email. Let's read it. He said, "Hey, Ingraven, hope all is well with you and the family. I'm just so super hyped up right now. So I'm sending this email just to say I got tickets to the Ravens-Titans game here in the UK. Hey, and that's going to be 9:30 for us. I don't know what time it's going to be over there. I would assume it's in the afternoon because I believe y'all are 5 hours ahead of us. So 3 hours. Oh, so it's at like 2:30 p.m., I guess. I think. Let me know if I'm wrong, though. I probably am. But anyway, so I know for us over here in America, we could be like, oh, man, you got to wake up early for the game and da-da-da. But yeah, I think, man, when people who watch these games from different countries, they may be watching the game because the game starts at like 1 p.m. for us. That's 6 p.m. for them, I believe, and then other places it could be even crazier. But that's why I know a lot of people in UK and stuff, they do not like them night games. They don't like primetime games because it starts at like 8:30 for us, so that's 1:30 for them, I want to say, because 4 hours will be 12:30 and one more hour will be 1:30. That's 1:30 in the morning for them, for the game to start. For the game to be at the very beginning, starting at 1:30 in the morning. So I'll be happy for them when they get games over there, because they deserve it, man. They deserve it. You know, NFL, they gonna make their money regardless, man. They gonna make their money, man. So anyway, he said, you never know when the opportunity will come up again, so I jumped on the chance. Hey, I get it, man. I get it, because Ravens haven't played over there since 2017, and so it's been 6 years. 6 years. That's a long time, man. He said, yeah, you never know when the opportunity will come up again, so I jumped on the chance. Won't go into how much it costs. Big yikes. But I'm real stoked to get a chance to see them live and in person. So happy right now. Peace and love. Shout out to my guy Les, man. Congratulations on that too, by the way. And look, man, I'm sure they cost a pretty penny. I'm sure they cost a lot. And I'm no financial investor. Definitely not. But for me, I would say, hey, go for it, man. If it's one of those not even once in a lifetime, but just something that just doesn't happen that often, all right, you spend a little extra money than you would normally. Okay. The money will come back, man. The money will come back. The opportunity, you never know when it'll come back again. So I'm glad that you got it. I know I looked for fun. I just looked for fun one day to just see. And, you know, I didn't even look at the tickets to the game yet, but I had just looked for plane tickets over there, and the plane ticket round trip alone was like $1,000 per person. Just for the plane tickets, the plane tickets round trip. That ain't no hotel, whatever. That ain't the game tickets. That ain't all. $1,000 a piece. So that's just getting started. So I was like, oh, cause I was just looking for fun, just to see. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm a 9:30 that game. We're gonna be right at the crib. So hey, but I'm looking forward to it. Ravens got to we all as fans got to relive a traumatic experience of that was in 2017. That just it was rough. But hopefully this year, the Ravens can make a lot of what went wrong in 2017. They can make it right. Next question came from my guy, Shay. He said, just a fun question. He said, Ingraven, just wanted to ask a fun question to break up the serious ones. Hey, I like that, and I appreciate that. And I get that, too. Because sometimes we could be thinking, like, Ravens this, Ravens that. We want them to do this. They need to do that. But it's fun to have some fun, too. I mean, we have fun on here all the time. But just doing some fun questions. So I get it. I appreciate it. He said, if you could steal one offensive and one defensive player from any team, who would it be? Ooh, one offensive and one defensive player from any team. Maybe for offensive, maybe Tyreek Hill from the Dolphins. Defensive player, maybe Myles Garrett from the Browns. Maybe Nick Bosa from the 49ers. Maybe Aaron Donald from the Rams. So yeah, those would be some guys who I would take from other teams. Wow, I'm kind of impressed with myself. I usually take a lot longer to answer them questions. I'll be thinking. But yeah, that was cool. But anyway, he said, which players do you think would throw this team over the top to an A plus 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 plus. Like, I mean, I'm taking from all teams if that's the case, but I think Tyreek Hill could do that for sure. Because he is just one of them dudes that's just like that, man. At running back, I think somebody like Saquon Barkley, because just a healthy Saquon Barkley, obviously, he just how explosive he is. And like this guy, he can cut so good and he's strong. He's just explosive. He's just crazy. Like he could be making all these cuts and just take off like that. I mean, with tight end, we got Mark Andrews, but I mean, you want to make it crazy. Obviously, you throw Travis Kelce in there. Yeah. But also offensive linemen too. Offensive line. I can't think of anybody off the top of my head. Maybe Trent Williams. You throw him in there. Just to be just being nasty up front, man. But then defense taking them over the top too. I like Jalen Ramsey. I would actually like Trayvon Diggs. I would have him. Like if he could play slot corner, that's why I would have him at. I know he be getting beat a lot too. He be getting a lot of picks though, but he be getting beat a lot. But I would rather my two primary like lockdown guys on the outside. Oh, Tariq Woolen too. Tariq Woolen. I mean Marlon Humphrey, I would keep him right where he at. But Tariq Woolen, Jalen Ramsey, but yeah, Trayvon Diggs, I would have him right in the slot to be jumping all them routes and stuff and getting them picks. And if he get beat, we got other people to sort of cover that ground and whatnot. But anyway, he said, been watching a long time and love the videos. Keep it up. I appreciate that. And I appreciate these questions too.